If you're thinking about starting to speedrun Metal Gear Solid Delta or any speedrun game for that matter, here's a video that I want to make for you. How to acquire the knowledge, how to speedrun a game or any game for that matter, and at least how I'm going through the process of getting familiar with the round and the strategies that a speed game requires. We're going to work today once again with Metal Gear Solid Delta as its subject, because that's the latest game in the series that I work with. And of course, I also see a lot of new people coming in for that game specifically. So I think this is once again a great example to go through the process here, how to get familiar with the routes and strategies, and especially how, for example, us as Metal Gear speedrunners are organizing ourselves in terms of strategy collecting and of course, discussing what's the best thing to do. So let's start with an easy example first, and then I'm going to teach you the ways that I normally do to go through the process of getting familiarized with the route. Alright, so let's have a look here at youtube.com. This is a private tab that I opened here, and we're just gonna try to find the route for Metal Gear Solid Delta. So let's look at Metal Gear Solid Delta Speedrun Guide. And here we see already we usually find stuff that's more for like challenge runners, Foxhound guides. And while videos like Perfect Stealth's Foxhound in 1 hour, or under 1 hour, excuse me, are definitely great, and this handsome fella here probably also could do with a makeover, these are not the things that I would look out in order to learn the speedrun for Metal Gear Solid Delta. In fact, it will actually take a little bit before you will actually find that speedrun guide that I'm thinking of right now. We at least have here one actual speedrun by Mala Ottman, but when it comes to finding a speedrun guide, at least right now, lots of these YouTube results are more focused on either getting to you a Foxhound guide or anything else. And it finally takes some time here to get to an 80% guide. But as we see here, finally then, Pythonica's video here for Metal Gear Solid Delta, 80% full route guide for European Extreme appears here. Now, while you can perfectly start with this one, I still want to show you where else you can find these speedrun guides, where it's definitely easier and faster to find them as well. And for that, we're going to switch over to speedrun.com. Of course, you maybe have already heard about speedrun.com. This is where most of modern games are actually listing their times and of course have a table to look up what the current world record is for each category and subcategory. Alright, let's check out here, Metal Gear Solid Delta. And there's the game already, just click on it. And boom, here's the table. What you see here is a lot of tabs, and I'm going to guide you a little through it. It should be self-explanatory, but still, I'll make sure you find what you need. In the first row here, we have the leaderboards, we got the news, the guides, resources, forums, and what else you could use. And of course, as expected, on the guides, you will find here a curated list of guides that you can use in order to get started with speedrunning Metal Gear Solid Delta. And if you check here, there's only one listing from European Extreme, and that's still the same video that we already found via the search results. But of course, way quicker because this is once again a curated list. And if we go back, there's also a brand new tutorial by Mr. Dan posted just 4 days ago. And here he actually teaches you how to speedrun very easy. Now it's up to you where you want to get started. I personally like very easy speedruns because they're easy to get into, but once you are getting over that hump of getting to know the game's mechanics and you're ready for a new challenge, something like European Extreme is actually a lot of fun as well, at least in my own experience. I started myself with Metal Gear Solid 3 for the longest time only on very easy, and then finally when Delta came out, I sat down, asked people to help me to teach me how to run European Extreme, and I found a lot of fun in that as well. So once again, here's how you can find the tutorials that at least the community has already curated, and you can get started here with either very easy or European Extreme. Both of them are fun games and fun routes, so you pick what you choose. But what if these guides are older now? Now, 12 days ago, that was definitely a different world. And I'm not sure even if 12 days ago we still have the same routes in use that we use today. So what can you do to find out that gap, that delta, between these two different routes? Check out the leaderboards quite easily. In this instance here, we've just seen 2 tutorials for 80%. These 80% tutorials are now showing you the all bosses or glitchless categories, where we are still fighting, for example, the Ocelot unit, the Pain, and of course doing the lab plus the fear. So you're a little bit out of luck already. If the guides are not covering the category that you like, you maybe don't have the full resources that you need. But I'm going to show you where you can find the rest of the strategies that we have for these categories as well. But let's first answer once again the question, what if a tutorial is a little bit outdated and on the leaderboard, the world record, for example, does something entirely different? Well, of course, initially you can check out the world record. That makes a lot of sense. And if you already went through the process of learning the initial speedrun from the guide that was made at one point in time, adapting that experience and the route that they used there to this new world record, for the most cases isn't even that bad. Because sometimes it's just slight changes, or maybe reutilizing the same mechanics you've already seen in the same game, just in different ways. What if the gap is actually bigger? And once again, what if you have a guide for a category that you could get started in, but then you want to expand to another category? So, as we have here the example of any %, but I want to do a glitchless run. For that, thankfully, we can simply check out the top links here we have for Metal Gear Solid Delta. We have a Discord link here that is linking to the Metal Gear Speedrunners Discord, and we have a website here as well, which will link you to the Wiki section. Let's start first, of course, with the Discord. So if you check out Discord here, oh wait, that's my own Discord. Thanks for 100 people, by the way. You can go to Metal Gear Speedrunners, and here we have a bunch of these channels that we can check out. And if you go under Solid Games and then MGSD, that is the channel right now where Metal Gear Solid Delta is being discussed. Welcome in, by the way. Like, this is a great community to get started in, and they're really helpful, so I can just shout them all right now. And as you see here already, hey, people are posting new videos right as I record this. So Anthony MGS has a new Ocelot free stunts method here, and also a new Ocelot unit no stun method for European Extreme. Great. I gotta sit down and add them later to the wiki. Reminder to myself. But yeah, if you want to be up to date, this is probably the best place to go, because there people are constantly going in, discussing, for example, what they want to do, and especially what strategies they just are developing and getting feedback for strategies. So if you want to be part of the discussion, this is probably the best way to get started in. You don't even need to get started on the run first. Just join them, say that you're willing to learn the route, and you can even ask in there, of course, hey, what's the latest route? And people will usually link you back to the guides that we have already done here, or maybe they have something new cooking. You'll never know. The community is also a great way to connect to other people that are currently running the game. And if you're maybe a person that needs some more personal guidance, it doesn't hurt to go in there and ask, hey, does somebody want to sit down with me in voice chat and help me with a certain encounter, or even teach me the whole game? That's something, for example, that I do even as well in the Monday live stream section, where I sit down, I take another person that wants to learn the run, and I teach them what I know, and they can get started that way. Of course, I alone can't teach you everything, but in the Discord at least, there's so many people, someone is probably guaranteed to help you get started at least. And like I said, the Discord is a great way to connect with others, share your strategies and ideas, and also see what else has been developed since, for example, the initial guides have been done. Alright, of course, there's another thing as well, and that is something that we have specifically for the Metal Gear Speedrunners. This is not present for maybe every game. Our own wiki. There's also community wikis, where you have a big site and you use their subsection wiki, where you can enter stuff like this. Such as, for example, I think Fangamer is being used by the Mike Tyson community, so they put everything there. Works too. We, however, have our own wiki hosted here, as you can see. And this is the current version of the wiki that we have for Metal Gear Solid Delta. If you find a link that's red, by the way, that just means we don't have a page for that yet. But every link after that that's white, you can just visit. And so, for example, on the European Extreme, if you go to the European Extreme route and strats, there usually people are posting not just full game guides, as we can see here, but also specific guides for rooms and encounters. Such as, for example, Rasvet in the Virtuous mission here, with a couple of different strategies collected right now. Especially because it's so early, maybe not one of the routes and videos is the perfect thing to do. Maybe it's just also that an alternative could give you more comfort to go through the game first, and then later maybe you're ready to upgrade your strategy and route to a different version. So that's what I specifically like, for example, about the wiki here. Lots of different strategies, multiple variations of rooms depending on what you like, and sometimes even depending on the ammos and the items that you pick up. And of course also different strategies in the sense of Metal Gear Solid Delta, for example. We do have legacy style and new style, and as of current making this video, switching styles between these two would reload your IGT, so that's currently not allowed. You're either starting your run in legacy style or new style. Despite there not being different categories yet for that, we at least have different strategies and videos for that, so you can apply them yourself. So say, for example, I specifically like Legacy Style. We also have videos that cover Legacy Style versions of rooms if you have trouble with that. We also have different sections for the boss fights here, and as it has shown, some boss fights are so, offer variations and different strategies in order how to tackle them. Say, for example, the Pain. If you have trouble specifically with the Pain, we also have a legit boss page dedicated only to this one boss with different strategies that are being listed here right now. And you can go for the videos and check them out yourself to see what would help you the best. Like I said before, right now, there's no best video yet, despite after almost a month after the release. But there's still so much experimentation happening right now that it has not really settled yet. But this is a great time to get started yourself. And if you, for example, have your own boss strategy that maybe has not been seen here yet, hey, present them in Discord and people like me can add them to the wiki for everyone else to see. And since, for example, the guides that we have so far are focusing on 80% and we don't have anything for all bosses yet, pages like these can help you to fill in the gap of the 80% route to get ready to do a glitchless run, for example. So the boss page for the 𝐾𝐻 is a great way to get started to get familiar with this fight specifically. And that's basically it. I want to give a little bit of a shout out to you all out there. Thank you so much for your feedback so far on the videos and especially how you respond to them. And if there's anything that you're specifically interested in as well, in order to go through that process of learning the route, making the route, and of course, recording yourself and submitting the run, let me know what you want to see next. Do you have any questions in regards to making a submission, meaning doing the run, recording it, maybe editing it in the sense of like fixing audio or muting something, and then uploading it, of course, to somewhere where you can post this link to speedrun.com. Let me know in the comments down below. I need your questions sometimes to help me what's the next best thing I can answer to you. But at least right now, while I'm working on something bigger, in the meantime, if you struggle with any of the bosses specifically, you know exactly now where you can find the links. Check it out in the video description as well. I'll link at least to the Discord, of course, and to the wiki, so you can get started there. And like you've seen now, there's a dedicated bosses page, for example, for individual bosses as well, in case you're struggling with any of these specific boss fights in Metal Gear Solid Delta. Alright, but that's it for now. Thank you so much, class. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.